All right. Where'd my freaking icon go? There we go. All right. What's up, Turtle Riders? Welcome to Book Club. Where are we at now? Okay, we're starting to have some people roll in here. All right, so we're back. We only have a couple more episodes of Book Club left. Welcome back. So we're definitely going to finish this week. For those of you who haven't been part of this, I wrote a book about 2 months ago entitled I Am Turtle Boy. It is available on Amazon. There's a link to it on our page several times. It's like almost impossible to miss. I actually got another copy of it today because I wanted the updated version, which has slightly more pages at the beginning to kind of give you a buffer zone. It's kind of like a cleaner look, but it's all the same content anyway besides that. So anyway, the purpose of this show, what we're trying to do here is like give you guys a chance to ask me personally any questions that you have about the book. I'm not sure who's read it. If you guys have all finished the book or if you've started reading it or whatever. I don't want to like give away too much. You know, Melissa's saying that last night's live was incredible. I hope you had a great time doing that. Ryan Waters has updated his lawsuit. He's trying to get a restraining order against me now. That's the new thing. He's trying to get a restraining order against me now. It's getting wilder every day, his lawsuit. I cannot wait until Wednesday when I get to see him in court for the first time. We're going to have such good, we're going to hit off so well. I can tell me and him are going to be good friends at the end of all this. So I'm glad you guys liked the show last night. Obviously, book club's a little different because we specifically talk about the book, but we can rant about some other things. But last time we talked about chapter 17, which was the most offensive and controversial blogs ever published chapter. All right. Today, we'll see how long these take, but we have 3 chapters left. 18, which is Making a Difference, which kind of highlights a lot of the good things Turtle Boy has done. All right. 19, which is by far the biggest chapter of the book, which is Facebook, Twitter, and Google censorship. And 20, which is kind of like the conclusion, which is plans for the future. So, Noelle says she's almost finished, was reading out on a plane, Portuguese lady sitting next to me, all about Turtle Boy. Yeah, the Portuguese love Turtle Boy. It's just a fact. He cannot get a restraining order against riders. Yeah, exactly. First of all, he can't get a restraining order against me. I've never met him. He's trying. Yeah, I'm not going to waste time talking about Ryan Waters right now, but yeah. Let's talk about chapter 18 then. So basically, any questions that you guys have throughout this, feel free to shout it out in the comments. That's why we have this live stream, so we can kind of talk to you guys and interact with you as much as possible. Like I said, we just did the most controversial blogs ever published in the last one because I kind of want to talk about, you know, the bad rap that we get and stuff like that and what we do about it, etc. But chapter 18 is kind of the polar opposite of it. Now, with this chapter, right, I think 18 was an important chapter because we get a bad rep. And a lot of people don't understand why Turtle Boy exists and kind of like what we're here for. Like, people are like, so you just make fun of shitty people? That seems kind of low-hanging fruit. It's like, no, that's not it at all. In history class, right, I used to teach kids about something people call muckrakers. They came around during the Progressive Era, right? The late 1800s in the United States was known as the Gilded Age, right? Our economy's never been healthier than during that time. You know, industry was booming, America was growing, cities were exploding, etc. But on top of, you know, the fact that we were becoming the most industrialized country in the world, there's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes, and America was kind of shitty, basically, right? And it was up to these muckrakers, these journalists, to expose and write about these things that no one else was writing about, right? For instance, you know, I kind of mentioned a few of these in the book, but like people like Ida Tarbell, right? She took on Standard Oil, which was like the biggest monopoly before Facebook in American history, right? And, you know, exposed a lot of the things that John Rockefeller was doing with his company. Eventually, they got dismantled, right? Or one of the most famous books of all time, I don't know if you guys ever heard this book called The Jungle by Upton Sinclair. And like Savvy Bear says, muckrakers were the OG investigators, right? Yeah, Nellie Bly was another one. I think she was British, though, I want to say. I think she was like a British muckraker. But yeah, basically, Upton Sinclair was this guy that wanted to expose meatpacking plants in Chicago, right? Like, you have no idea the shit. And I used to read Part of the Jungle in class. That was the name of the book he wrote about it to kids in class. And they were just amazed by the conditions that people's food was processed in, right? Like, it was freaking nasty. People falling into vats and shit and dying. And like, the guy was a socialist, and he wrote the book to like make people feel bad for the workers, but instead people read it and they felt bad for themselves because they're like, this is how my food is made. This is freaking disgusting. And what happened as a result of this muckraking? Well, laws were passed, right? The Meat Inspection Act was passed and the Pure Food and Drug Act were passed, right? And that's why like every piece of food in your refrigerator right now is a label on it, right? And it says all the ingredients and all that stuff because of Upton Sinclair, right? My point here being is that without people exposing shit, we don't have a chance to improve society, right? Muckrakers act as the catalyst for change in society, and that is, like, those are my heroes, right? Those are the people I look up to the most, and that's kind of like what we model the blog after. And a lot of people could have said back then, they could have said, well, these muckrakers, they're called muckrakers for a reason, right? They're supposed to be an ugly word, right? Like, these trashy journalists writing this garbage. It's like, no. They were the catalysts for change. Without them, nobody would have known about these problems, and they never would have had a chance to get fixed. All right? So, like, I kind of outlined in the book a lot of the positive changes, you know, that we've had in society, right? Like, if you're a real Turtle Boy OG, Turtle Rider OG, you'll remember, right, that, I knew you couldn't resist the history. I love history, Silent Cal. Calvin Coolidge is one of my favorite presidents in American history, too. But that's another story. And I was thinking, by the way, for a follow-up book, because I definitely want to do another book, because I'm glad you guys enjoyed this book, but I'm like, what would it be? And I was thinking about just doing, like, a history podcast series, right? Like, maybe like a 10 or 15 episode podcast series about, like, American history with Turtle Boy, right? And we kind of tell you all about American history, because history was boring for a lot of people growing up because you had bad teachers. You had Mr. Hands of the world, and you deserve better than that. You deserve Mr. Carney's, right? And so I was thinking about doing something like that, and maybe something related to that in a book. I don't know. Just thinking out loud here, whatever. Anyway, yeah, so we'll think about that because I'm like, what can I do for a next book? And I think, obviously, since I know a lot about history, I think that would be not a bad idea. But anyway, if you're an OG Turtle Rider, you might have remembered the first time we ever put our ability to create good for society to use, right? And that was when Toys for Tots in Worcester in 2014 was robbed outside of the Lucky Dog Cafe on Green Street. And so we do a little blog on it, and we're like, that sucks. All these toys were stolen out of a van. And the next day, over 150 people showed up there with donated toys, right? They collected over $2,000 in cash, all these people, and that's what we do. So when people, and that's when I realized, I'm like, oh man, this blog has to be more than just ratchet shaming. It has to be a force for good, right? If we're not, and we've done a lot of these things. We've done things on the Relay for Life. We raised money for a South Worcester Little League that was robbed, and like everything we do. Like today we caught some cheese hog stealing from an Ulta's. I mean, granted, they're a private business, but these are thieves. They need to be apprehended. So that's how we make a difference in society. We have to use our platform to help these people. We got to. Right? And so when people want to shit on us, maybe the most famous one we ever did, I don't know if you guys remember this one, but there was a poor girl got run over by a tractor trailer. It was like some Final Destination shit in Kelly Square in early 2015, right? And I felt awful about it, obviously, and I'm like, we need to do something. So I started the first ever Turtle Boy GoFundMe, and we raised over $4,000 within a couple days for the family of the deceased because she did not come from, a wealthy family or anything like that, so they could bury their daughter. And I actually met with the woman in the Boynton parking lot, and my daughter, I don't know if I think she had just been born or if she was about to be born. I think she was just born, actually. And we just had a long talk about life, man, and like talking to this lady and seeing how much she was hurting and stuff like that. And I was glad to help her, you know, and that's when I realized, like, we can help people. Like, it's irresponsible not to use this platform to help people out. You got to do it, right? And so we have to be a force for positive change, and we've done that throughout the time, right? And like, for instance, 2 years ago, right, with the Kevin Mensa story at Shepherd Hill. This is obviously a couple years after I was working at Shepherd Hill. And I'd never met Kevin Mensa, but he was a kid that transferred from Holy Name. And a bunch of athletic directors didn't want him to play football for Shepherd Hill because they thought that Shepherd Hill was, quote unquote, recruiting. Because Shepherd Hill is like a football Division I factory, right? There's multiple Division I college football players who graduated from Shepherd Hill now. And a lot of kids were like, this is the school you want to go to if you want to go D1. Kevin Mensa doesn't live in Dudley or Charlton, though. And so he had the school choice there, which is perfectly legal. He does that, and then his old school, Holy Name, doesn't want to let him play. Now, Holy Name is a freaking joke. Holy Name had this guy, Neil Fingleton, who passed away last year, actually. He was 7'5" in high school, 7'5". And he comes over here from England as a sophomore, and they just starts playing for Holy Name. They literally recruit players from across the ocean. And now they're worried about the other school doing it to them for once. Shut up, Holy Name. Like, Holy Name, God, I couldn't think of a worse high school. No offense if any of you graduated from Holy Name, right? Holy Name's a freaking joke. Holy Name is where you send your kids if you live in Worcester, if you don't have it in you to say that you don't want to send your kids around minority kids at North High School. That's basically what Holy Name is, right? It's not a good education. It's certainly no better than any public school, right? The kids that graduate there end up just as trashy as every other kid that went to public school, right? You either go there for sports or you go there to keep your kids away from the kids at North High School. That's the only reason people send their kids to Holy Name. So anyway, yeah, like Noel says, like you said, you are a positive force by instilling in people the fear of being in a Turtle Boy article. Absolutely. And that's a big thing here, right? Is that, like, the fear, if we can keep kids, in this chapter outlines, we don't have to go over all the positive things we've done, right? But if the fear of being on Turtle Boy can reform behavior in society, who would object to that, right? Like, who would say that's a bad thing? Certainly, like, well, all these people whine, oh, you're mean, you're mean. Yeah, we're fucking mean. Yeah, absolutely. Mean people get shit done. The nice mom and dad who let you do whatever you want, their kids grow up to be assholes, right? The strict parents who hold their kids accountable and don't put up with bullshit, their kids grow up to have respect. And that's kind of lost in society today. And we kind of act as like the strict parent, if you will. And we're approachable, we're reasonable, you got to be reasonable, but you got to be strict too, right? And as a result of that, people, like, we get messages from people all the time, especially people who are on drugs. One of the most famous messages I've ever received was from a woman who's just like, yeah, I'm a recovering addict, and I wouldn't go to, like, meetings and all this other shit trying to stay clean, and I couldn't do it. Until Turtle Boy came along, and I told myself I don't want to end up on Turtle Boy. It's kept me clean. The fear of being on Turtle Boy is a powerful force because we have a large audience, and that shit's embarrassing, I would assume, right? So, what are you saying? Like the kid in New York you reported on today. What kid was that? Oh, that kid. Yeah, that little shit. Exactly. Like that, the cool mom, right? The cool mom from Buffalo who lets a kid do whatever they want. Fuck her, right? Letting your kid, drinking with your kids, smoking pot with your kids. If you want to impress your children, you're doing parenting wrong. Like I do not care. My daughter thinks I'm cool right now because she's 3, right? She's not going to think I'm so cool in a few years. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to care. I'm certainly not going to care if she thinks I'm cool. And I accept that, right? Because that's just the nature of the beast. If you have any desire whatsoever to appear cool to teenagers, then you're not fit to be a parent. You're just not. Yeah, the hotel mom. Who can forget the hotel mom? Good God. Yeah. So, anyway, we kind of list like a lot of like, stuff in there. I don't know if you guys, did any of those messages that we've gotten kind of surprise you guys? Like the DTA worker in Springfield for food stamps that said, I can't tell you how many food stamp cases I've closed because of your blog. Or how about the state troopers who have messaged us and said, gone are the days when the guy at the bottom has no voice. Okay. Or I love the parent that told their 11-year-old kid, right, that they have to throw away the flat brim Chicago Bulls hat because you're too young to be on Turtle Boy. That might be my favorite, right? It just goes on and on and on. Read some of those in the book. They really warm my heart when we get messages like that. I really can't say enough great things about that. And that's like really why we do it, you know, when we get stuff like that. Or the last couple days when we've gotten all these donations from people all over. And the messages you people have sent just about fighting Ryan Waters, right? Because, like, what we're doing, somebody has to fight this guy. You know, somebody has to take a stand against these assholes. And if it's us, it's us. And we couldn't do it without you. You guys have our back, you know, so that's really important. So, anyway, that's kind of chapter 18 in a nutshell. I wanted to get to chapter 19, though, right? And that is our history with Facebook and Twitter, all right? And so this is by far the longest chapter. And I didn't want to bore you guys with that. And to me, it's the least interesting chapter in the book. But it seems to have resonated the most with readers that I'm seeing in comments and reviews and stuff like that. Because it's outlined the control that social media and tech companies have over our discourse as a society. It's dangerous, man. It really is. And people don't understand. They don't get it. They don't see the big picture. Facebook is the biggest threat to democracy that has ever existed. All right. Facebook and Twitter should not be allowed to be privately owned, in my opinion. They can't. All right. They've proven they're too important, man. They're too vital. They're public utilities. Right. For instance, if we talk on the phone, if you and I talk on the phone, and I use Verizon, and I use quote unquote hate speech when I'm speaking to you, should Verizon have the right to deny me service? Of course not. Of course not, right? Because, I mean, it's a utility, right? Like, you have a right to use the phone. They can't just be like, no, you can't talk on the phone because I don't like the things you're saying on the phone. It's like, what? But Verizon's a private company, right? So this idea that you can't tell private companies what to do is fucking absurd. It's patently absurd. Now, I'm a small government guy normally, right? But I'm not an anarchist. I believe in some sort that the government has to act as a referee, right? The government has to act and create a level playing field for businesses and people. And the fact of the matter is, as Jack Dorsey testified in front of Congress, Twitter is the public square. It is, right? And basically, when 90% people show you every day, 90% of people get their news from either Facebook, Twitter, or Google every single day. Nobody goes to websites anymore. Does anyone here just go to websites every day? Like, anybody? Because I don't. I mean, I can't. I mean, I guess sometimes I will go to ESPN.com sometimes just to check a score. That's about it. That's the only website I can think of that I actually go to directly, almost, right? Or at least in the past I haven't. Now I just go on Facebook, and you know, a lot of us do. Let's go on my Facebook page right now, shall we? Yeah, Matt Drudge. Let's talk about Drudge for a moment. Drudge is the guy who has figured out what nobody else has, right? I want to go to Drudge. Thank you for bringing up Drudge Report. Let's check out the Drudge Report. DrudgeReport.com. All right. So this is a conservative website, technically. I don't know what year he made this, but I'll tell you one thing, he hasn't updated it since. It is the most bootleg, basic website that has ever existed, and it appears to be nothing more than just a bunch of links to other sites. Like, that's it. All this is just one gigantic database for other news outlets. That is why Matt Drudge, years ago, decided not to have a Facebook page. Any Facebook page you see for the Drudge Report or a Twitter account for the Drudge Report is not run by the Drudge Report. It's just a fan who started it. Because he realized he doesn't want people to become dependent on going to Facebook, right? He wants you to go to his site directly every day. And so that's why he doesn't want a Facebook page, right? And he wants you to go to his page and just go to his links. And you know what I mean? Because he realized once you do that, then they got you. Then you are dependent on them. And this is kind of like the one website, and it's kind of genius, right, that they realize that. So I keep trying to go directly, but I always forget and use Facebook. Yeah, man, it's just a it's just like a it's a habit. People, I want it. I'm guilty of it too. I go to Facebook every day. Like, let's go to Facebook. Let's see what happens right now. So I'm on the clearance account over here. Da-da-da. And let's see what comes up, shall we? All right. So first is something Clarence posted. So there's that. And come on, Fupa computer being slow. Look at all these friend requests. No friend requests, people. Just follow it. It's a follow page. Oi, 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 oi. I don't care what you had for dinner. All right. So, first thing that comes up, Enterprise of Brockton. Legendary Brockton Restaurant, George's Cafe, JJ. So why does this come up first? Why? Why should this come up first? I follow hundreds, maybe thousands of pages. Why does this one come up first? Right? Or, you know, I go down here. Let's see what comes up next. Oh, Mike Shue. There he goes. Kelly comes up next. Or, what's this? Norwich, Connecticut. It's all random, right? And let's see. The Daily Wire. Blue Lives Matter. I'm not going to lie. This is different than usual. New York Times. This is what usually comes up first for me. New York Times, CNN, stuff like that usually comes up first. But just think about the control that these people have, that Mark Zuckerberg has. They get to decide what millions of people will see first. And what you see first, you are more likely to click on, right? And so he has the power to decide what information millions of people subscribe to every day. So if there is something on here, some type of information that he doesn't want you to know about, he can press a fucking button and change his algorithm and hide it. You know what I mean? No man should have that amount of power over millions of people to decide what they see. That's insane, right? And it's dangerous. And a lot of people don't get that. It's like, it is fucking dangerous. Nobody should have that amount of power, right? So, I don't even think they did pay for it. Like, every Turtle Boy article pops up on my cell phone via Gmail. Yeah, just go via email, man. Absolutely, right? But what happens if, in the book kind of covers, what happens if Google cuts you off next? You know what I mean? What if they decide you can't use their email service? These places have to decide whether or not they are publishers or platforms, because they act as both, and legally, those things are treated differently, right? If you're a platform, you can't be sued for things that appear on your place, because you're hosting it, right? You can't be responsible for millions of people, you know, right on your site. But if you are taking things down, you're no longer acting as a platform, you're acting as a publisher. You're making editorial decisions. And so let's talk about Twitter first, right? How many of you guys are on Twitter? A lot of people on Twitter, because like Twitter, I think, has maybe 10 to 20% of the users that Facebook has. It's still millions and millions of people on Twitter, but it's a much smaller percentage. Twitter's not as good, right? It's not as like user friendly. It's not as like visually appealing. And it's really just a lot of people who like to hear themselves talk, media people, athletes, stuff like that, elected officials. I mean, Donald Trump, think about it, uses Twitter. I'm a Twitter. I have 3 accounts. I have it. I never use it. I have a Twitter account, but I never go on. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to go. I like Twitter. I like using Twitter more than Facebook sometimes, because Twitter was great for like reaching famous people, getting famous people to follow us. Famous people don't use Facebook. They use Twitter, right? Like Michelle Malkin followed us on Twitter. It's fucking awesome. Cassandra Fairbanks followed us on Twitter. You know, these people have millions of followers, right? Kurt Schilling followed us on Twitter when we had @TurtleBoySports. And when you have that ability, you're like, every time I tweet something, Michelle Malkin's going to see it. Kurt Schilling's going to see it, right? He might retweet it. And then millions of more people are going to see it. It creates this ability to grow exponentially, right? And so I started using Twitter, and I didn't like it as much as Facebook or whatever. But, you know, I started getting famous people to follow the account, right? Like the WEEI guys loved it. They kind of latched on from early on. Next thing you know, we're up to like, 14 or 15,000 followers, and boom, Halloween comes around a month before the Facebook page goes down. Should have seen this one coming, and we get suspended. We create a new one, and there's no appealing because just like Facebook, no one works at Twitter. But I wasn't freaking out because most of our traffic doesn't come from there. It's not like when Facebook went down, it wasn't as detrimental, but it still sucks, right? Because you feel like you earned those followers, right? Like when Michelle Malkin followed me, or like Jermaine Wiggins or Christian Fourier, or all these people I grew up like rooting for on the freaking Patriots. And now their Lawyer Malloy followed me. Lawyer fucking Malloy, right? Like these guys were like I watched them every fucking Sunday. They won multiple Super Bowls. And they are interested in what I have to say. It's like, what the fuck? This is crazy, right? And now it's gone. You can't get those people back, right? It was an honor to have them follow you, and then it's done. And it keeps getting shut down. We create a new one, at Real Turtle Boy. Builds it up to 5,000, gets shut down. Then we create, what is it, Turtle Boy News, at Turtle Boy News. Gets up to 10,000 followers, shut down. And after that, I went on a vacation, right, this summer. I did Boston to Bermuda on a Norwegian Cruise Line, which I highly recommend. It's an easy fucking vacation. I start doing it, and while I'm out to sea, I go on Twitter, and I see that I don't have Twitter anymore. It's been shut down because there was some sort of purge while I was gone, in which, what the hell? Basically, anybody who had previously been suspended from Twitter was suspended again. Like, shut down. Because they're like, no, if you've been banned once, that shit is for life. Like, for life? Fucking for life? These are the same people that want criminal justice reform and, like, lower sentences. But you're going to suspend me for life for what? I've never done anything wrong. The Turtle Boy News account was taken down because we called, back when Samantha Bee called someone a cunt. What did you call it? Ivanka Trump a cunt? Wanted to prove that, like, censorship only happens to some people. And so these conservatives were trying to like get her reported. And I'm like, don't be a cunt. And boom, I got taken down. So you can't even, so only some people are allowed to call people cunts. It's like, what the fuck kind of shit is this? I have a feeling no one actually reviews this shit. It's all automated, whatever. Anyway, it sucks because there is an account out there that says like it looks like at Turtle Boy Sports, but it's at Turdy Boy Sports. The L is an I. And it still exists today. And it says stuff like just penis, 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 cucktard, faggot, all this stuff. And yeah. People think that's us though, right? And so like you're allowed to impersonate us and almost like that's bad for business, right? Like if famous people think that we're saying shit like that, using, homophobic slurs and stuff like that, that's allowed on Twitter. But we're not allowed. I mean, the double standards are amazing. It really is amazing, right? Talcum X today, right, tweets out nothing but lies. He has millions of followers, and all he fucking does is lie to them about serious shit. And it has consequences because it gets people fired up about racism, and then they hate the cops, and then they kill cops. He's allowed to do that on the platform, but I'm not. We're not. Right? Here, how's this for Big Brother shit, right? My wife has never used a Twitter account before. Never had Twitter. So I'm like, use your computer. I've never signed into Twitter on your computer. Try to create a Twitter account right now on your computer. Watch what happens. Let's see what happens. So when I got home from the purge, first of all, I came home and I'm like, okay, whatever. We'll make a new one. I make a new one. It gets shut down within seconds. Now it's some Big Brother shit. Now it's like, they're clearly tracing my Wi-Fi and my phone. Because I tried to do the same with my phone, it got shut down. It's like, okay, now this is getting fucking scary, right? So, I'm like, okay, let's have my wife try it. She tries making a Twitter account. It gets shut down in seconds. So my wife, who has never used Twitter before, has never done anything wrong in her life, is banned from Twitter for life. How the fuck is that right? And I'm sorry, but Twitter is the public square. You know why? Because the President of the United States of America uses it to make policy announcements. He tweets 50 billion times a day. And quite frankly, he's much worse than I am. He's much worse than any of us are. Right? And he should be allowed to. He should be allowed to. But for us not to be able to participate in this, in this public square, this is where debates happen. This is where political ideas happen. This is where ideas spread, right? If I have a platform with 20,000 followers, right, and I'm trying to endorse a candidate for election in a local election, I don't have the ability to reach people now, right? And they'll say, well, it's just, you don't need Twitter. Yes, you do. You do need these things. If you're in the business of what we do, which is media, of course you need social media. It should be a fucking right. You know what I mean? Don't tell me, oh, it's fucking privately owned. They should be able to do it. Fuck off. It's privately owned. What the fuck does that mean? Well, if the fucking if the gas company or the oil companies are privately owned, should they be allowed to deny you fucking gas? Well, you don't need to put gasoline in your car. You can just ride your fucking bike. Shut the fuck up with that fucking bullshit. With your libertarian, fucking, don't even get me started on libertarians with their fucking, like, their answer to everything is like, oh, we should do fucking nothing. Shut the fuck up. Of course we should do something. Oh, well, no, we don't. At least the government isn't involved. Oh, yeah. Thank God the fucking government's not involved. And we're just controlled by these faceless tech douchebags in San Francisco who get to decide what we're all allowed to freaking say. Oh, yeah. That's way better. Thank God the fucking government's not involved. Oh, thank God. And I'm not a fan of the government. And I'm sure they'd fuck it up too. But how about just some basic rules? You can't deplatform someone without cause. There should be a 1-800 number. These companies have billions and billions of dollars. They're too important. And they don't have a fucking phone number. What kind of bullshit is that? There's no fucking email. Nothing. Try emailing Facebook support. Watch what happens. Nobody gets a fucking answer back. Yeah, make your own Twitter. I love when they say that. Make your own Twitter. Shut the fuck up, you fucking libertarian douchebags. I fucking hate libertarians with a fucking passion. They're just fucking Republicans that like to smoke weed. That's it, right? It's just a fucking bunch of bullshit. Everybody always says, oh, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm a libertarian. That's even fucking worse. It's even fucking worse, libertarian. Go build your own fucking Facebook. Oh, yeah, and right after that, I'm going to go build my own fucking internet, too. I should just build my own fucking internet. Why didn't I think of that? I don't need to use the public roads. I can just build my own fucking roads. How about that? I don't need to use the fucking grocery store. I can just build my own fucking grocery store. Why didn't you just, oh, thank fucking God you libertarians came in and told me about this. I didn't even fucking think about that. Holy shit, I should just make my own fucking internet. It's that fucking easy. Jesus Christ, shut the fuck up. Okay, these platforms are valuable, right? Because they have all the people. That's what makes them valuable, is that they have all the people. Yeah, I could create my own platform with 100 people on it. What fucking good is that? Facebook is where everyone is, right? To cut yourself off from it is fine, but you're intentionally choosing to go away from where the people are. And if you're in our profession, which is in media, you have to go where the people are. You do not have that option. So it's complete and utter fucking libertarian horseshit. Did I mention I hate libertarians? Okay? It's complete and utter fucking bullshit for them to just say, well, if you don't like it, don't use it. Yeah, I should go write my fucking diary. That's what I should do. Dear Diary, Ratchet Cheesehog steals shit from Ultas. Yeah, I'll fucking do that. Or I can go in the middle of town square and start ringing a fucking bell and making announcements. That's what I'll do. Jesus Christ. The acquiescence of people, by the way, to just accept this is unbelievable, right? It's like, oh yeah. Like if these libertarian shitheads were around during the American Revolution, you know what they would have said? Well, the British want to sleep in our rooms. They're demanding that we have quarter them in their house. But you know what? It's their country. So they get to make the rules. So it's up to them. I'm not going to fight them. I mean, We would never be able to revolt against Britain today because our country's full of fucking gutless pussies, right? And they're cowards. Like, the founding fathers are the greatest people who ever lived because they have fucking balls, man. Those people put their lives on the line, right, for freedom and all this shit, and they sacrificed themselves for this, right? And what are we doing with this freedom? We're acquiescing it. We're giving it away to pieces of shit like Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey. These obnoxious, left-wing, totalitarian shitbags, right, who get to decide what the rest of us say. It's patently un-American. Shit needs to end, right? And so this idea that, like, you know, we can't fucking take them down. Of course you can take them down. I mean, so many... You got to start calling what it is, right? Congress wants to investigate Facebook and Twitter for election meddling, right? But I'll tell you what election meddling is, right? Election meddling is when Facebook and Twitter start taking down accounts right around the election time, all of which tend to be right-wing. How about that? Do you know a lot of leftist sites that get taken down? Because I don't. I never hear liberals complain about it, ever. Now, liberals are the ones who should be most concerned with gigantic monopolies. Like, Elizabeth Warren's like, you know, I'm going to go against the big oil and take down these big corporations and blah. Well, here's the biggest one for you. Facebook and Twitter. They control something more powerful than oil. They control information, right? What are you doing about them? They're owned by gigantic, white, male billionaires. What are you doing about it? Nothing. Nothing. And you know why Elizabeth Warren and Democrats are doing nothing about it, even though this is their cup of tea? Because they know, like we know, that those platforms benefit them, right? That they are not kicking off liberals. That Facebook and Twitter can be valuable tools in defeating Donald Trump in 2020. That is why they sit back and do nothing. And Republicans do nothing because Republicans are fucking stupid and older for the most part, and they have no fucking clue how the internet works. And they're also obsessed with small government. Oh, we can't regulate them. We shouldn't. Government's bad. Even though we're in the government, government bad. We can't regulate them. Of course you fucking can, you motherfucker. They're manipulating your platform. I mean, look at Donald Trump himself. Why the fuck is he on Twitter? Why is Ben Shapiro on Twitter? Right? If you were true Republicans and you wanted to support Republican causes, you would say, look it. These platforms are attacking my base and they're silencing my voters. They're left-wing organizations, right? But yet Donald Trump brings 60 million people to Twitter every day, and then Twitter makes money off of every single one of them. If Donald Trump left Twitter, Twitter would go broke tomorrow. I'm telling you right now, they'd go broke tomorrow. But he's not that smart, man. He ain't that smart. These people don't see the big picture. They don't see it. We do. But we don't have the voice to get it out there because we've been deplatformed by all the companies. They took away our fucking microphone, right? I mean, we still have the ability to reach people on our blog or whatever, but how about this? What if our hosting company one day decides, you know what? I don't like the content in your things. You're not allowed to host with us anymore. What? What? I mean, it's so fucking dangerous. It's so fucking dangerous. So anyway, let's see what people are saying. Turtle Boy is, sorry I went on a rant there. This is probably the chapter I'm most passionate about. And we're going to finish this chapter tomorrow because this is a longer chapter. I haven't even gotten to Facebook yet. But let's see what people are saying. Even when they retweet fake shit from Talcum X, absolutely. I mean, there's no accountability whatsoever. When I got kicked off for saying cunt, I searched for cunt on Twitter, and literally millions of people use it. Search for the N-word. Should we go? Let's fucking play a game right now. Let's go on Twitter, okay, and let's search for some potty words. And let's see. Is it hate speech if I write out the N-word? Let's see what happens. Da-da-da. Oh, I just got the book today. Can't wait to binge read it. You're going to love it, man. I promise you. You're going to love it. Well wishes from Calgary. We got a Canadian in there. That's awesome. Can I ask clever username how you found out about Turtle Boy all the way up in Calgary? That's fantastic news. I love it. The Fupa stream. Yeah. Okay. So I searched the N-word. You N-words are unbelievable. This has 547,000 retweets. And it's just up. Been up for 2 days. N-word, 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 N-word. You're telling me they can't fucking create a thing that says like you're not allowed to use a word? Of course they can. But they have no standards. This idea that like, yes, we are, if people break the rules, we take them down. No, you don't. You clearly don't. Let's see what happens when we do cunt. I'm a bad bish. I'm a cunt, Nicki Minaj says. I'll kick that hoe. Punt. There you go. So Nicki Minaj, I'm a cunt. 3.67. We got kicked off for using the word cunt. She uses it. It's cool. Slay, queen, slay. Anyway. Make your audience pay $10 a month for your own platform. I mean, I'll never make people pay to use this, right? Hell no. Hell no. But what we will be offering in the meantime, very shortly, is a ad-free subscription in which you can pay $10 a month and have no ads. Yeah. Anyway, let's see what else are people saying. It also makes him dangerous. Going to play it for my younger brother and his friends. Oh, glad you liked it. I love this rant. Yeah, I hope you guys like the rant. I mean, it's true. It needs to be said. I'm so sick of these people, right, that don't understand the problem, right? And then they want to say, like, well, if you don't like it, don't use it. You know what every single one of those people has in common? They've never been censored. Until you've been censored, you don't understand what it feels like to be censored. You don't. And you never will, right? Until you've been silenced. And honestly, the average Joe Schmo getting silenced isn't the same as us getting silenced. It's not. When you have the ability to reach 112,000 people by pressing the enter button, right, you have a loud voice. Us being censored has a lot more of an effect than the average Joe, right? And like, you people choose to follow us. You know what I mean? I second that. Get a VPN. I have a VPN, bro. The VPN don't work. I got ExpressVPN. It's like the best one. They got ways around VPN. These are billion-dollar companies, man. They have a way around any sort of fucking VPN. They've already thought that one through. They're trying to stop Russians. Yeah, Peter Fonda, right? He said he wanted to like put Barron Trump in a fucking cage and watch him get raped by pedophiles. He's still on there, right? Anyway, converted a few people at work to Turtle Riders. Add a baby. I mean, that's how we got to spread, man. Is you just got to do it old-fashioned way. Let people know that you work with in the cubicle next to you. You know what I mean? Let people know. This is Turtle Boy. This is the revolution, baby. All right. A few people in Tucson now listen. That's fantastic, man. We're definitely trying to spread all over the country. All right. Definitely trying to do that. Do you guys have any questions or anything on this before we call it a night with this one? I'll answer any questions you nice people have. In a hospital waiting room, I've put the words, yeah. Do we find out how Calgary Turtle Rider found out about us? VPN doesn't help when they track MAC addresses. Because I have a Mac computer, Brendan, is that why? Yeah. So if you have any questions, fire them up. I'll answer anything you guys want here. You going to keep doing weeknight shows after the book club? Yes. I really like this. The reason I kind of stopped doing the podcast, right, is because there was no live interaction. I hate doing a podcast just sitting in the garage by myself. It's so much better when I get to answer questions from you guys. You know what I mean? So much better. Internet Smackdown's done properly, or what attracted me to Turtle. That's awesome. I'm just curious how you came. I'm sure most of you reading this right now will say that you probably found us through Facebook, right? I mean, that's just a fact. Is most of you discovered the blog because someone you know liked or shared our blogs on Facebook. MAC addresses is tied to any computer's hardware. So are you saying that, like, if I created... I mean, I could probably go to the library tomorrow and just tweet away from the library. But I'm like... I mean, I live in fucking Holden, man. It's like I'm in, like, the boony part of Holden, too. So the library is, like, 4 miles away. And that's, like, the closest thing to me is the library. And so I'd have to go back there constantly. I couldn't tweet from home. It'd be a pain in the ass. What else are people saying? Do more lives. I love how YouTube tells you when you guys go live. Oh, they tell you that? Oh, that's awesome. Okay. You guys get alerts for this? What else are people saying? No MAC address, a thing to do with computer type. MAC address is tied to any computer's hardware. Okay. I have a flight at 5 a.m. I stayed up for this. Hopefully someone else to discuss Turtle Boy Sports on a flight. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, bring the book on the plane. You never know. If, like, you sit down and start reading it, if the guy next to you knows Turtle Boy. I'd like to see a Turtle History cast. Definitely like to do that. Did they catch the Ulta Sticky Fupa Bandits? Yeah. We messaged the Berlin police, and they thanked us for that. We caught one of them, and we got the second one. That blog's coming up soon, I think. Yeah. Let's see. Not worth it. They'll figure it out. Yeah, exactly. They'll figure it out. You should do a once-a-week Q&A podcast. I mean, we kind of do that already, right? With the live show, we always have a Q&A at the end of it. So, are all Turtle bloggers banned from Twitter? Yeah, anyone who is signed into the @TurtleBoySports account is banned from it, okay? So, if you know, like South Shore Turtle Girl is signed into it, she's banned. North Shore Turtle Babe is signed into it, she's banned. They're all fucking banned. If you've ever used one of your devices to sign into the @TurtleBoySports account, you're banned. So it is what it is. What else was there? Also, if any of you came to my house and you tried to log into your Twitter at my house, you'd be banned too. Because people have donated their Twitter accounts to us to try to use, and those get shut down too. It's fucking Big Brother shit. Big Brother shit. Yeah, like Ma Coffee. Where's she at? Max Coffee. But they blocked accounts created for you. So Max used to donate us accounts to use. They all got shut down. They all got shut down. And she even had it so that, like, when I had to, like, you know, input a phone number, I could input her phone number. And it worked for a couple weeks, and then eventually it would catch up to you. Yeah. Someone I worked with told me to check the blog about the Big E. Those places were sweet. Yeah. I'm glad you liked those ones. Yep. Put down the book when I got the alert. That's awesome. Book's great, about halfway through. Glad you like it. People either love or hate my Turtle Boy hoodie. Oh, come on. Who hates the Turtle Boy hoodie? No way. I just punched Internet Smackdown Legend into the Googles. What's this? Is this stopping? System overload. It stopped taping? Hold on. I don't want to lose the podcast. All right, Fupa Computer, the podcast had some issues there. All right, the podcast is back. I love this game, Brutal Max. Are you following up on Peter Falk? Yes. There should be an article coming on Peter Falk shortly. Does a Turtle Writer run the Twitter page that's on there? I follow one that posts all the blogs. Yes. The @TBSporty one is run by a Turtle Writer. Nice woman that wants to help us out as much as possible. Now, we will never use that. It's basically a fan account that creates, you know, shares our content, but it's not the same thing because, you know, she's not a blogger, right? So she can't, she just, you know, basically just shares all her stories, which is fine. It's a great thing. I love that she does that. There's just some things she won't be able to do, right? Because she doesn't write for the blog, so she's not aware of some of the things that are going on and stuff like that. But it's better than nothing, certainly, okay? But, like, for instance, if Jerry Callahan was to follow us and message us on the DMs, I wouldn't be able to read them. You know, he wouldn't be able to contact with anybody that actually works for the blog. So it's always going to be limited in that capacity. Let's see. I just punched Internet Smackdown Legend into the Googles and link to a Turtle Boy came up. That's fantastic. That's how he found it. Google. Let's see. I love this game. I follow TB Sporty. Yeah, TB Sporty's good shit. Close some windows. I mean, this is, believe me. I know, I got too many windows up. Maury is missing this. Let's see. Anyway, I got to call it a night. If you have any last-minute questions, get them in now. If not, we got to wrap this up. I want to go watch this football game. Clemson still winning? Anyone know? That Notre Dame loss is going to feel a lot better if Clemson smacks the shit out of Alabama. All right, guys. We'll call it a night there then. And stay tuned. We will be back tomorrow night probably for the final episode of Book Club, where I get to rant about Facebook. And we will see you all then. Peace, Turtle Riders.